My name is Logan, and I'm 8 years old. I'm in 2nd grade.
When I'm older, I want to help elephants.
Oh, neat. So that's a goal you have?
Yeah.
You learn at your own pace, so then we sometimes don't really kind of work as a group. We go to the point that we're at.
We're just learners because we always learn.
Their entire day and experience, we refer to it as the ideal learning experience. It has to be centered with all decisions we make, they are at the center of it.
A student, the teacher has to tell them what they have to do. A learner, they could actually choose what they learn.
The studio is our classroom, the facilitator or our coach, we can call them either one.
To cover your whole.
You can go to Mrs. Dentlinger's class, Mrs. Shepherdson's, Mrs. Barron, or Mr. Johnson's.
So the cool thing about our studios, we have these moving walls, so we can prop those open. So I know Miss Barron and I have our middle wall open, I would say 95% of the day.
The other facilitators, they know my kids just as well as I know theirs, but we all work very closely together, so you might find us bebopping all over the place into a different studio.
I don't just know my own studio, I know all the learners in 4 studios.
The weight is not just on my shoulders. It's all of us working together all the time.
In the Collab Lab, we do collaboration. We work together to do it in a group, in a big group, and to learn the habits of mind.
We spend 2 weeks on each habit, and we're actually on our last habit now. So we have creative and innovating.
Persistence, empathy, managing impulsivity. There's 16 of them. There's metacognition, there's speaking clearly, applying past knowledge, using 5 senses.
This week is continuous learning, and we should learn every single day, even if we're out of school.
So tomorrow, Saturday, you won't be here. How could you still remain open to continuous learning, Tuck?
Just learn every single day. Even if we're a grandma or grandparents, still learn.
When we have our morning meetings and we're talking about those habits of mind, they are life skills that those kids need to know. And it's what is helping make our learners successful.
Sometimes it's just a time to touch base with a lot of different kids and build that community and those relationships.
It's so much more than just me as a learner at Medary Elementary. It's really about just this different culture of family and being empathetic towards each other.
Empathy, it helps you become a better learner because you can put yourself in other people's shoes and then you can help them out. Of all sorts of shapes and all sorts of colors.
You're working on an opinion piece. What's your opinion going to be? Dogs are better than cats.
Before I kind of turn them loose on the day, we have a community meeting where we gather and we talk about what our goals are for the day. And then I ask each learner, what are your plans for the day?
You did shadow puppet?
Yeah, shadow puppet.
You're going to do a shadow puppet. Perfect. Everybody ready? Go. Get started.
We do our LOs, which is learning objectives, or you can call it learning outcomes.
We are all about our learner outcomes, our learner objectives, and helping our learners get to the point where they're proficient.
All the students, we're trying to meet them where they're at, so we don't see the frustration that you might see in a different classroom where everybody's on the same page at the same time doing that same worksheet.
Last year we had a learner that got moved in, to customized learning because he was having such a hard time in the other classroom behavior-wise. And it turns out we got down to the bottom of it. He couldn't do the 3rd grade work he was expected to do. He couldn't read at a first grade level yet. So to be expected to do third grade work, that's going to bring up some anger and some behavior issues. That's a lot of emotions that can come up for a child. So meeting them at where they're at takes away that pressure.
They're in control of their learning and then being self-directed. And so we're here to support them as facilitators and building leaders, but really the vision is about meeting them where they're at while simultaneously meeting the needs of all of the other children as well.
What?
That's a circle.
Where did you find these? Those are the cells inside of algae. Whoa. We never want to stop. Like you just keep going. Like I'm saying, it's recess. Let's go, guys. It's recess. And then, I mean, hey, go put your book away. We'll look at it tomorrow.
We don't give ABCD grades, we have a learning portfolio that we use instead, and that tracks our learners' progress of those skills. So it's a different approach, and it usually takes our parents longer to kind of adjust and become accustomed to this different way than it does our learners, because for them it's very natural.
We show what we know. Then we either check off our LO, or if we're really good at it, we could be coaches. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
They love to teach what they've learned.
When we have some older learners come in to help coach, that's awesome. So if I have some kids from the older room come to my room, I had some come today during math, and they said, "Do you need anybody that has stuff to work on?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got 3 kids that are working on time. Could you go out and teach them time?" Yep. So I gave them some clocks. I gave them some stuff to work on. So there were 3 kids that were working on time.
Kind of look up to them and see like what we can improve on, and like they can kind of be our coaches.
You look and see there might be flashcards, because that's what Aline is still working on for her.
Please?
Yeah. Will you go take her?
Yeah. What's 2 plus 3? And you add 3. 5. Correct. You just needed a little help with something.
They love working with kids from other studios. It's a sense of community, a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose. Just visiting with some kids today and what they taught to other learners, they had a sense of accomplishment. Appreciate it, Aline. What do you tell her?
What should I do, please? You're welcome.
Hi, are you ready for lunch, birthday girl? All right, let's go have some lunch.
So like those 3 are ready to...
Definitely.
Then you at least have a group. Yeah.
We meet almost every day at lunch. We meet during our prep time, sometimes before or after school. So you're going to spend a lot of time with these people, and I think getting the right team together. We're kind of a variety in our team, but we work together very well.
The team of teachers truly does matter. Personalities do matter. It's that collaboration piece. When we're preaching collaboration with our learners, we want to show that as well.
One thing that we're still striving to perfect is the communication. That's the biggest difference for parents. They're not getting their spelling words that they maybe used to get every week.
Yeah, in the beginning I did, well, what spelling list is she doing this week, or, what set of tables is she on? That's because that's very traditional, that they have a set of spellings to do every week. They've math facts to learn every week. I think the thing is, because it's customized learning, you have a number of different spelling lists in the same classroom, and or she might be on long and short vowels, and her friend, is working on blends, or, and it's customized to what they need.
I'm going to tell you about my weekly reflection. So I'm doing really good on math.
We do like weekly reflections, and the students videotape themselves And it's kind of a little note to mom and dad or grandma and grandpa. And it says, you know, this is what I've been working on this week.
I'm working on a slide about the periodic table, and I'm using this book. I don't know if it's up right.
So when they come to school and they're in charge of everything that goes on during the day, that takes a lot of responsibility, and I think they take pride in that.
From Logan's perspective alone, so we have seen a tremendous amount of change. I mean, one thing that I mentioned is the level of excitement. So he's always excited to report about what he learned.
I just helped the younger Jace with money, so like with coins. I like how like we get to learn something. The next year we could still continue what we were learning, and then when we're done with that, we can move on.
If you get done with second grade, if you don't feel comfortable, you do not have to go to third grade math. Like, you can keep practicing until you feel good.
We all have a timeline, right? We all have our own pace for everything that we do. We learn things at different rates, no matter who you are. And so to say that you have to have something by a certain time isn't really appropriate for anybody. Who made that rule that they had to be at a certain place at a certain age?
Press this second button here, and it would start recording.
The environment is very open to being a risk taker, to allowing for collaboration, and just freedom to learn. I have learned a lot, I have changed a lot. I think I've become more confident because I know that what I'm doing is best for kids. I truly believe that this structure is very meaningful for every learner in there because they're in charge of their learning.
We really look at why we're here and what our kids need. I think the reward or the light at the end of the tunnel is that we have lifelong learners.